Ladies and gentlemen, now we'll proceed to our second session. The theme of second technical session is Halal Pakistan, Scope, Option and Punjab Potential. To chair the session, I will request Senator Haji Ghulam Ali, President, Federation of Pakistan, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Pakistan. Senator Haji Ghulam Ali. To co-chair the session, I'll request Mr. Abdul Basit, Chairman, Bigwood Group, Pakistan. Now I will request the speakers to join us at the stage. Professor Dr. Javed Awan, Country Director, Islamic Food and Nutrition Council of America. Mr. P. Ahmed, Chief Executive Officer, Pak Qatar Family Takaful Limited. Mr. Muhammad Yaqub bin Munshideen, Managing Director, Halal Malaysia. Mr. Ahmed Nasir, Chief Executive Officer, BioWet Private Limited, Pakistan. Today, the first speaker on second session is Mr. P. Ahmed, Chief Executive Officer, Pak Qatar Family Takaful Limited. He will be speaking on Sharia compliant insurance solutions for halal industry. Respected Mr. P. Ahmed.
First of all, I am grateful to the organizers for giving me the opportunity to come here and explain this Islamic alternative to risk mitigation tools. My today's topic would be, I will just briefly cover Takaful, which is a Sharia compliant way of risk mitigation, and it is an alternate to conventional insurance. With the growth of halal industry globally, we are seeing that risk mitigation is one of the very, very important aspects of any financial and economic and commercial activity. And without risk mitigation, it's very difficult to manage large enterprises. So, without having a Sharia compliant alternate, it's very difficult to manage your businesses. So, I'll be covering today, my flow of presentation would be, I'll just cover very briefly about risk mitigation, Sharia perspective of risk mitigation, what Sharia says about risk mitigation, just briefly, and the global and national development of Takaful, that how Takaful has been growing and what is happening in Takaful as far as Pakistan is concerned, and briefly how does Takaful function, how it is different from conventional insurance, and then just a small regulatory framework in Pakistan. So this is what actually we will be covering today. Now, we have been seeing since centuries that Muslim jurists have been saying that conventional insurance is not permissible, and common people normally used to think that this is not permissible mainly because it is against tawakkul or it is against, acting against the will of Allah. But generally, this is not the case. That risk mitigation is not against tawakkul, and we see so many examples from Prophet life and the act of Sahaba that they have been actually rather encouraging that you should be mitigating your risk. So what happens actually, every person is facing some risk. When we go out on the street, we are faced with risk. When you are managing our business, we have a risk. We have a risk of natural calamities. We have a number of risks. So what do you do actually when you are faced with the risk? Number one is actually that you avoid risk, meaning if you can avoid, you avoid. For example, if you have a chance of road accident, you don't go out to the road. Another alternate is actually that you manage is you retain all the risk to yourself. That if anything would go wrong, you have so much financial strength that you will be able to meet that. This is possible in the individual perspective, but in the business perspective, this is not generally possible. Then actually nowadays we have another alternative, which is conventional insurance, that you go and mitigate your risk. But for Islamic and halal businesses, it is difficult to go and get yourself insured because the alternate available is not Sharia compliant. And now, alhamdulillah, we have the Takaful, which is that you could go and get yourself covered through the Takaful. Now there are few examples I have seen from the Islamic history that they are talking about in different perspectives, risk mitigation. For example, we have all seen a hadith where Prophet ﷺ said first try your camel and then do the layla. And then actually we have seen some contract. For example, I mentioned the contract like Daman Fatrat Tariq. When people used to travel at that time earlier, and a person would come and guarantee that if you would travel on that route, if anything would go wrong, I'll go and compensate for that. It was a non-compensatory contract. So this is one of the examples. Then you may have Damanul Dar, then Aqila, where if somebody kills somebody else by mistake, and the person has to pay for the deer. And this bill is paid by the person who is not been able to pay, then the whole city or the tribe will come and pay for that. So these are the contracts which we see that they were present at that time as well, which were actually indicating towards the risk mitigation, and risk mitigation is permissible. Now what has happened actually, if the risk mitigation is permissible, then why conventional insurance is not permissible? The basic objection on conventional insurance is not on the concept of insurance. It's basically on the process, the content. There actually we have some issue that why the way the conventional insurance is managed, the way contract, which is a buying and selling contract of risk, a risk transfer mechanism that is not permissible. So this is the basic reason that in a conventional insurance contract, a risk is transferred to one party to another party for a consideration which is not permissible. Then what is allowed? If risk sharing is not allowed, risk transfer is not allowed, then what is allowed? Risk sharing between the participants. So takaful, in very short, I'll just explain in very short terms. The takaful is a cooperative system where the participants will come together, pool their contributions in a fund, and there will be operator will be managing all those funds and paying out premiums, claims and everything. And pool would be the owner of all those funds, and people are becoming member of that particular pool. So what is allowed that you can have a risk sharing mechanism, which is a cooperative mechanism. The very meaning of word takaful is which is joint guarantee. Takaful came from word kafala, and then when it went to Babi Takaful, it becomes takaful, meaning is a joint guarantee. So people in any place, any system, like if you keep a guard in your mohalla or society, and people are paying for this contributing, that is also the takaful system, where people are coming and contributing in that particular pool, and you are mitigating your risk. So, global development of takaful, that how takaful has been growing internationally. I'll explain the takaful process as well. Origin of modern takaful, that how takaful started. There have been number of fatwas issued earlier that insurance is permissible, sometimes it was issued, it was not permissible. Then we see that the need for takaful came after the development of Islamic banking. We see that the development of Islamic banking was in 1970s. Then the way Islamic bank came in 1975. First takaful company came with a particular model which was proved at that time in 1979 in Sudan. The first attempt was made. Because what happened when Islamic banks came, and then immediately they had a pressure because they were building up assets, and without having an insurance cover, it was difficult for them. So they started to search out for the alternatives. The need emerged from this development of Islamic banking. Then this is the development of Islamic banking growth from 1950 to 2010, how Islamic banks were growing in all over the world, and we have seen that particular growth that in the Middle East, in Far East, and even in now European countries, Islamic banking is rapidly growing. And first, a couple of companies I already mentioned was in 1979 in Sudan. And the government industry, how the government industry grew, we are seeing actually there was some fatwas issued in 1970. And then in 1987, the Council Act came in Malaysia, and then actually we are seeing in the 21st century, a number of the Council Act of Malaysia was first piece of legislation. Then it started discussions all around the world. Then Malaysia declared it as one of their growth engines, then Middle Eastern, and in Pakistan. The Council came in 2005. Currently, in 2009, figures are 134 takaful companies globally working. These are 134 are dedicated Takaful companies and 36 windows. And then there are 15 Irani operators. Irani operators are they work on a different model. So we are just normally including it separately because some of the reports include Irani operators in this 134 figure. And we have 18 reach Takaful operators as well. And Takaful came in the beginning with some difficulty in having reinsurers for the Takaful, but now we have alhamdulillah having Takaful operators. These are the few big Takaful operators. I just wanted to mention this list that all big reinsurer players in the world, including Munich Re, Hanover Re, Swiss Re, they all have launched their separate dedicated Takaful companies, and they are doing. There was a IJMA held in Darul Uloom, Karachi, when they studied different models of Takaful. There were different models globally working around. There was a Mudaraba model, then there was a Wakala model. And then a committee was made by the government of Pakistan. In 2005, Takaful rules came, and in 2007, Takaful companies started to come in the market. Now, Takaful companies, what they do, normally Takaful is divided into two areas. One is family Takaful, which is basically providing risk coverage to all anything to do with human life, like health, death, disability, and long-term savings. And General Takaful companies, they are providing coverage for the rest and properties. So Takaful companies can do house, marine, motor, all kind of business. There are some areas which Takaful companies cannot do, which conventional companies are doing. For example, guarantee business, which is prohibited by the Shariah, which we will not be able to do. But most of the businesses are managed by the Takaful companies. There are different models. I will not go into the detail because of the shortage of time. But there are pure Mudarba, pure Wakala, hybrid Mudarba and Wakala. We are in Pakistan using Wakala plus Mudarba and with the addition of WAF. Here actually I would like to focus that how do we function. First of all, an operator would come, he would create a pool. Pool is created in Pakistan, it is created on the basis of WAF. In other places actually it is created a pool on the Wakala basis. People will come and become the member of that pool. Next. There is a Takaful operator. The relationship of the Takaful operator in the pool would be Wakala. He will be Wakil of that particular pool. And more people will become, like customers will come and become the participant of that particular pool. All the investments of the pool will be managed by the Takaful operator, and those will be done in a Sharia compliant manner. And at the end of the period there is an accounting done. And after that accounting, what you will do, you will take out the all claim paid, all administration charge will come from the Wakala fee, and whatever is left is considered as surplus, which would be distributed back either to the policy holder or it would be retained in the pool for future contingencies. This is a family Takaful model. Again, I have two steps that I need to conclude that session. There are three funds which are managed by the Takaful operator, which is shareholder funds we manage. Now the difference is that our all funds are different. Shareholder fund, Takaful fund, and investment funds, all funds are different. And Takaful companies, after doing every year to the distribution of surplus, like Pakistan, actually distributed last year 48% surplus to customers. This is surplus distribution. This is one of the benefits, but this is not the ultimate benefit of Takaful. But sometimes people come and say, because surplus is something which is not important. It's a brief introduction of Takaful. We are here since last 2007. 2008 actually we started doing business. It is company sponsored by first a national bank and 5 other leading institutions of Qatar. These are our sponsors. Our Shariah board, we have this is Tafiz Pani Sahab as our chairman, Mufti Ismatullah, Mufti Hassan Kalim, Mufti Zubair Pani Sahab are the member of the board. We have financial strength rating of A. We also have a very strong alternate distribution channel. Major banks of the country are distributing our products like Standard Chartered Bank of Barakah, Deutsche Bank, Western Bank, MCB, and Emirates Global. They are distributing our product, and alhamdulillah. And we have good response from the market. Last year actually, in 2010 we did business of $1 billion. Last year in 2011 we did a business of $1.9 billion. Just to conclude that the there is a huge potential out there, both from the investor perspective and from individual perspective. You have tools available now which you can use to mitigate risk of your businesses, and you can invest in the long term for your long term benefit as well. With this, again, I am grateful to the organizers for providing this opportunity. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, sir. Our next speaker is Professor Dr. Javed Avan. He is Country Director, Islamic Food and Nutrition Council, America. Today, he'll be speaking on Islamic slaughtering and meat quality. Respected Professor Dr. Javed Avan.
Thank you very much. Let me congratulate the organizers for organizing this beautiful conference, and of course for the learned speakers. Chairman of the session, honorable delegates, and my respectable teacher, Professor Dr. Muhammad Shafeeq Chaudhary. और जब ये बैठे हो तो मुझसे बोला नहीं जाता, so I'll collect the courage to speak. I'll be simply translating. When we talk of halal food, we immediately come to our mind sabiha, meat. So I'll be briefly talking about what sabiha is, what Islam says, and how does that translate into our modern language, which is the language of science. Thank you very much. So maybe meat is indispensable. We need it for our nourishment, and it gets spoiled by chemical, biochemical, and biological agents. So what we have to do is produce the meat. So what we have to do is to produce the meat with minimum of these changes, so that the consumer has good meat, good quality meat, and proper nourishment. The requirements for slaughtering have been given by our Holy Prophet, and these guidelines are followed by all Muslims for the zabiha. There are two parts to the zabiha: tasmiyah and tasmiyah. Tasmiyah means invoking the name of Allah, and tasmiyah means cleaning the meat of blood, as per the Holy Quran, which says, unless you are able to slaughter it. I'm sorry, we don't have much time, so I'll be going a bit fast. The Holy Prophet, and this is what I would like to read, and this is in fact the gist of all the slaughtering. Verily, Allah has prescribed proficiency in all things. Thus, if you kill well, and if you slaughter well. Let each one of you sharpen his blade, and let him spare suffering to the animal he slaughters. These are the commands by our Holy Prophet. The process of slaughter must be sane Muslim, must have all his faculties, and he must believe in the scriptures and must be a Muslim. While laying the animal preferably on its left leg, recite the name of Allah, Allahu Akbar, and by using a very sharp knife, cut the throat. At least 3 of these, with 5 precipitous, carotid arteries, and regular veins, at least 3 of these should be severe. There are quite a number of things which are prohibited: pork, blood, dead animals, halal dead animals, they are prohibited. All birds of prey, carnivorous animals, and the permitted animals are the herbivorous animals, which are even-footed, and these must be legally owned. Sharpening of the knife, it should not be done in front of other animals. That will cause nervousness, and we'll come to why nervousness is not required in meat. Another thing which is required by Islam is that the animal should have rested. not fatigue, it should not be nervous, and it should not be excited. And of course, any act that will develop neurosis in the animal to be slaughtered is prohibited, and slaughtering in front of other animals, again, it is prohibited. What we are practicing, we will not talk about. So, the modern science again requires all these things. That is, it should not be stressed, it should not be fatigued, it should not be neurotic, and it should not be excited. Rough handling, it causes loss in quality of the meat, and in case of fatigued animals, the microflora contaminates the meat. Proper relaxation, it permits building of glycogen in the body, and that glycogen is converted into lactic acid. That lactic acid reduces the pH of the meat, and that gives us a meat of good quality, keeping quality as well as of eating quality. Another aspect to which our Holy Prophet has addressed is that the animal should be well fed. There are two schools of thoughts. Some say it should be fasting, the others say it should be well fed. In both of them, there are advantages and disadvantages. The fasted animals, they say, it bleeds well, there is less load on the stomach, you can prepare the carcass easily, and there is reduced chance of bacterial contamination from the cat. And the disadvantage is that the weight of the carcass reduces. So that's the loss to the entrepreneur. Glycogen, we said, if the animal is well fed, then there is sufficient glycogen which gives us lactic acid, which will give us lactic acid, and that will reduce the pH of the meat, and this will give us a better appearance of the meat, a better taste, and the meat will be tender with longer shelf life. So, feeding of animals in the modern abattoirs is again recommended, and sometimes they also feed sugar solutions to the animals to be slaughtered. All the animals, they are slaughtered while laying, except camel. We will not talk about it. Game animals, they are different, they have different regulations. The conventional process of slaughtering is that lay the animal on its left flank and use a very sharp knife. Stunning is allowed in the Western slaughterhouses. In fact, today what the veterinarians are saying is that stunning gives a very calm animal. It has nothing to do with calm animal. Stunning was started initially to protect the slaughterer, that it will not, the animal will not hit the slaughterer, and that is why they started stunning, and now they have changed their objectives. And of course,